You may have noticed that when I refresh this page, I start out with the login screen, and then when we get the user's information, we can render the authenticated app. What would be better is if we wait to show anything until after we've determined whether the user is currently logged in or not. The reason that this is happening is because we initialize the user to null because we can't initialize them to anything else. And then when this get user request is all finished, then we can set the user to what that user value actually is. You'll notice that we don't have the same problem if we start out logged out and we just refresh, that it just stays on the login screen. So there's no problem there. It's just for users who are actually logged in. So basically what we need to do is manage some loading state in here, and I don't want to bother with that again because we've already built it with use async. So we'll bring in utils hooks, and then while I'm up here, I'm going to bring in colors from styles colors. So we can have some nice red color for any errors that we experience. And I'm going to import full page spinner from our components lib. Great, so now instead of managing this user in our own state, we're actually going to call use async, and we'll get our state from that. So we'll get our data, we're going to call that user, and then we'll also get error, and is loading, is idle, is error, is success, run, and set data. So we're going to use all of those things. Then in our use effect, we're going to run the get user, and use async is going to handle setting that to our data. So let's go ahead and update our dependency list to include run. And then for all of our login, logout, register, everything, instead of calling set user, we're going to call set data. And just to make this a little bit more clear, I'm going to rename this to a full user to avoid any ambiguity there. Great, so let's go ahead and save this. We should get the exact same experience that we did before. And if we refresh, we get that login screen. So awesome, now we just need to key off of these Boolean variables to know what we should be showing. So here, let's start with the loading state. So if we are loading, or if we're idle, so before we even start loading, then we want to return the full page spinner. And it looks like I might have misspelled that up here. So yeah, that'll be spinner. There we go. Okay, let's pull that in right there. And let's save that, and boom, there we are. Sweet, so we're no longer seeing the login screen, we're just seeing that full page spinner. Much better experience for our users. Let's also handle the error case. So I'm gonna say if is error, then we'll return some UI for this error. So a div with a p tag that says, uh-oh, there's a problem. Try refreshing the app. Now, if this happens, we really don't know what is going on or what to do, but hopefully refreshing the app will just magically fix it. And we'll give them the errors message as well to give them a little bit more information, or at least something to give to us if they reach out for support. And then we can make this look nice with a CSS that I'm just going to paste in here. Great, it looks awesome. And then finally, we can just return this if is success. We'll return our application. Great, so let's come over here. We've got it loading. It's looking great. If I log out and refresh, we don't see any loading or anything like that. We know that the user's not in here, so we just show them the login screen. So in review, what we did here was we imported the full page spinner, our colors, and use async, and we replaced our own use state with use async and called run to start getting the user as soon as this component mounts. And then when the user logs in, we set the data in what we get back from use async, and same with register and log out. And then based on the current status of our asynchronous request, if we're loading or if we haven't started it yet, then we'll show the full page spinner. If there was an error, then we'll show this error message. And if it was successful, then we'll render the authenticated app if we have a user and the unauthenticated app if we don't.